Here at Heritage Automotive, experience the difference with our great sales department, service department, and parts department.
And we have over 30 lenders with some of the best rates in the market.
So whether it's routine maintenance, mechanical repairs, collision repairs, we're here to help.
Heritage Automotive. Expect more, experience the difference.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is Wake Up Weather.
All right, Fred Gossage here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center early on this Friday morning with your Wake Up Weather forecast. I want to talk about the ongoing rain and storms across the area this morning that's still causing flooding potential. And we'll have to watch out for maybe the risk of a few tornadoes ramping up as we head through the morning as well, although there's going to be a low wind threat. Flood watch still in effect for all of our viewing area here across southern middle Tennessee, North Alabama, into northeast Mississippi until 7 a.m. And I think they're going to hold it for that full time because heavy rain continues on into Saturday. A general expectation once we had yesterday and then add it to what we're going to have today into tomorrow morning, 3 to 5 inches of rain across the area, but there is going to be heavier banding in here of 4 to 6 inches of rain, and within that, even some heavier totals. So we are talking about the potential for some flooding and flash flooding across the area. Here's Viper radar this morning. You see some of the bands of moderate to heavy rain working northward through parts of southern middle Tennessee into North Alabama. Notice we've been recovering temperatures since the rain has been off and on. We're back into the upper 60s and many folks starting to climb into the lower 70s now. That's going to start to kick up the instability, the storm fuel a little bit as we head on into the morning. And that's what may slightly increase the risk of a couple of strong to severe storms. Here's the remnant low from what was once Hurricane Francine rotating near the Memphis to Jonesboro area. You see the feeder bands moving northward. These will get stronger with a little daytime heating. They don't look like much now because they've been working over the same rain-cool areas overnight, and we've lost the daytime heating. However, once we get a little bit of that heating and get on up to the mid to upper 70s, there's more instability to work with. Storms will get stronger and more widespread with that heavy rain and flooding threat, in addition to maybe 1 or 2 storms still having a low-end type tornado threat. Storm Prediction Center, Office of the National Weather Service, still keeping a level 1 out of 5 risk of severe weather. That's the low-end threat here across southern middle Tennessee through northwest Alabama for today and tonight. The outlook goes through today and tonight. However, the tornado threat will diminish as we go into the afternoon because even though we'll have unstable air here, the wind shear, that spin in the atmosphere that gets storms rotating, it will weaken as we go into the atmosphere as the strength of the winds in the lower atmosphere will continue to weaken as the remnant low from what was once Hurricane Francine continues to weaken. So we'll start to see the tornado threat, it's low end all day, but it will be relatively higher for the first half of the day versus the afternoon. But there still could be a couple of tornado warnings, so we're going to have to be on guard today. Here's Futurecast this morning showing the spotty banding across the area. As we head through the morning, those bands of showers and thunderstorms intensify. And once they do, especially mid to late morning into the midday, that's when we may start to see a couple of tornado warnings that may last into the early to mid-afternoon. But as we get into the later afternoon, that wind shear weakens so that even though we have heavy storms here, they may not be able to rotate and produce tornadoes, but they'll still have a flooding threat. And as we get into the evening and overnight, that heavy rainfall with the thunderstorms actually becomes more widespread in coverage. And I think the flooding threat increases as we head through tonight and through early into Saturday morning as a widespread rounds of showers and thunderstorms move through the area with multiple rounds of locally heavy rainfall. Now, for a large part of a viewing area, especially west of I-65, there's already been between 1 inch to 2.5 inches of rain already measured across the area. This that you see on the map is in addition to that, added to it between now and Sunday morning. We're talking about another widespread 2 to 5 inches of rain and isolated banding that could be another 5, 6, 7, 8 inches on top of what we've already happened. So when you add everything together, this is a big time rain event we're having here that will have significant flooding type threats, not river flooding and stream flooding and lake flooding because those water levels are so low because of the drought. but poor drainage areas and low-lying regions that flood easily, you will have a significant flash flooding threat there today, tonight, and Saturday. In addition to street flooding, when the heavy rain is falling, that will be a significant threat as well. The good news with the rain, with these type of rain totals that we're going to have in addition to what we had yesterday and overnight, this may significantly work over the drought, if not remove the drought, once all is said and done and calculated here as they look at that next week. So certainly some good news for the drought, but we're going to have the flooding issues to deal with. Remnant low still spinning around over the weekend, carrying the rain chances Saturday into Sunday. Moisture still around Monday into Tuesday, but rain becomes much more isolated. And then once we hit toward Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week, we finally get rid of the rain chances for a few days. But here through the weekend, while we have the clouds around and the rain around, that's going to keep the temperatures on the cooler side into the 70s here. Once we start to peek out the sunshine a bit more early next week, we're getting back into the low to mid 80s here as we go forward into next week. So off and on periods of rain and thunderstorms likely today, flash flooding still a threat, and from the morning to the early afternoon, we will still have to watch out for that low but not zero chance of 1 or 2 spin-up tornadoes. Daytime highs between 75 and 80. Depending on if you get a peek or two of sun today over southern middle Tennessee, northwest Alabama, northeast Mississippi, all of that's the same exact thing. Daytime highs here in the upper 70s to the lower 80s. 7-day forecast, we still have the panel for today red because of that flooding threat and that spin-up tornado threat. Flooding threat is still there for Saturday, but it's a bit more isolated. Tornado threat will be gone late afternoon today, will be gone tonight, it will be gone tomorrow and afterwards, but maybe some isolated flooding still into Saturdays. We have those scattered rounds of heavy rain, still showers for Sunday, but they become more isolated, especially early next week. And check out by Wednesday and Thursday, we finally break out into dry weather and get temperatures up into the mid 80s. There's your latest 7-day forecast. Unless we're live with severe weather coverage this morning, I'll be back at 7 o'clock with a live update on your forecast information.